Good morning, second graders. We are starting a brand new unit in math this week called place value. Does those words mean anything to you?
Yeah, in fact, I think I remember learning about place value in first grade. It's where different numbers have a value based on what place they are in when looking at the number.
Exactly. That was a lot, probably for your little brains to process, but once we jump into it, it's all going to make sense and it's going to come flooding back into your memory and you're going to be like, that's what they were talking about with place value.
All those years.
All those years. So, looking at our Monday worksheet, it is called Models for Tens and Ones. So we're going to keep place value pretty easy at the beginning, only going up to the tens place. Let's take a look at what we have here. It says, Allie had 35 raisins to make a snack. She grouped the raisins into tens and ones. The raisins on the celery show tens. So this is a celery stalk. And if you see the celery stalk, there are a full group of 10 raisins on that stalk. Now, before we started this video, you clued me in on a little secret that I didn't remember until you mentioned it.
Yeah, this brings me back. My mom used to make this as a snack for me, and she called them ants on a log.
Oh, nice.
So, I don't know if any of our students have ever had like celery, and then you put the peanut butter on it, and you put the ants. You put the raisins on it, and you call it ants on a log. It looks like they're just sitting there hanging out.
Yeah.
So I'm a little hungry, but you can keep teaching.
Okay, thank you. So as I was saying, if you see a celery stalk with the raisins on it, that's going to signify or stand for a group of 10. And then over here, the leftover raisins show the ones. So like if we were using the counters, you know, the
little cubes.
The cubes, and we had a group of 10, that would be like a celery stalk, and the single ones would be like the single raisins. Same idea, just cute pictures to go with it. So if I'm looking at the example they have for me, I see one group of 10. Here's a celery stalk with 10 raisins on it. Two groups of 10, three groups of 10. So 1, 2, 3 groups of 10, 10, 20, 30.
Oh,
if I
counting by
tens.
tens.
And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single raisins, so 5 ones. So down here, I have 3 tens and 5 ones. And if I put those together, I would get the number 35. And talking about place value, what's important to remember is the place farthest over here to the right is the ones place, and the place to the left, the second place over, is the tens place. So my tens numbers, 1, 2, 3 groups of tens, and then I have 5 ones, the tens place, the ones place. My answer is 35. So could you erase that for me while I pull this up and we talk about the rest of the page here? All right, if we look down farther, they only give you 3 problems on this side, so it's pretty easy. And I'm only going to do the first one for you because I think you guys will be able to do the rest of them on your own.
They can do it.
Let's look at number 1. I see 1 celery stalk, which stands for 110, one group of 10, right?
10 raisins.
10 raisins on 1 stalk. So how many tens do I have, Miss Marquardt?
Well, I know it's 10 raisins, but that's really just one group of 10.
One group of 10. Very good. I was not counting individual raisins, just the group of 10. One group of 10, and then how many single raisins do you see there?
Ooh, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 raisins, which would mean 4 ones.
4 ones. So, using place value, if I have 110 and 4 ones, my answer is 14.
That's really cool because it's actually the same as 10 plus 4 equals 14.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as having 110 and 4 ones.
Yep.
Gosh, I love numbers.
Pretty cool, huh? All right, so the next one, I'm not going to write the answer down. We're just going to talk about it. I like to see Miss Marquardt tell me how many groups of tens she sees on this page.
Well, it looks like my mom made for me 2 ants on a log, which means there's 2 groups of 10.
2 groups of 10, so I'd probably write a 2 for 2 tens.
And she must have ran out of celery because there's only 3 raisins all by themselves over here, which would be our 3 ones.
3 ones. So if I have 2 tens and 3 ones, what is my number?
Well, kind of like up here where we just smush those numbers together, we can smush them together and get 23, or we can think about it as 20 plus 3,
Mm-hmm.
which is 23.
Yep.
Either way, you get the same answer.
Yep. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. All different kinds of ways you can find it.
So we just gave him the answer to the first 2 problems.
Did. So then you really only have to do one more on this page. And then I'm going to flip it over while Ms. Marquardt erases.
All right.
that.
Let's take a look at the back, because the back side, even though it reviews what we just talked about, there are a couple questions that get a little bit tricky near the bottom. So let's talk about each problem. I don't think I'm going to write them down, but it's important to listen to the video all the way through.
Yeah.
The first 2 problems, one you can tell is already done for you, where you will need to trace over the numbers, is giving you a set of either 10s or 1s cubes. The first time they're separated and you need to count out groups of 10 and circle them. So you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We circled it because that's a group of 10, just like those ants on a log. And then we have another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's circled. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are all left by themselves. So that's going to help us with our answer over here in how we got 2 groups of 10, 5 1s, and our final answer is 25. Now, the next problem looks a little bit different. Just like when, during our morning meeting, when we first started, we talked about a tens rod. Each of these rods, known as a tens rod, are really 10 of these little ones snapped together. So we don't need to do the circling. We can actually just count them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Do they have 60 groups of 10?
Well, careful, not 60 groups of 10. It's really 6 groups of 10 that equal 60. And this is where place value gets a little tricky. 60 groups of 10, oh my, that would be a lot. So
It'd be 600.
it would. That's good math, Mrs. Grant. So it's going to be 6 10s, and then how many ones?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, so 4 ones over here. Now this little line down here, just like here, we want our final answer.
Total. So if I were to put my 10s and my 1s together, what is the total amount of cubes shown? Right? And I think you guys can figure that out. That was a pretty
think
good
they can do
explanation, Ms. Marquardt. Thank you for clarifying all that.
I think they can do it, and
Okay.
I hope they don't write 600.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a look at the bottom 2 problems because, again, they're just a little bit tricky. And actually, Mrs. Grant, I'm going to need you for this. Would you mind maybe a different colored marker?
Sure.
Because I have a feeling this watermelon's going to get complicated.
Okay.
When I looked at this problem the first time, I'm not going to lie. Even as a teacher, I was like, easy, 10, 20, 30, 40. Wrong. They tricked you. There's actually more seeds than that in this watermelon. So what we want to do is the skill that we just talked about before, where we group 10 things together. And this time, it's going to be 10 seeds. So let's take a look at this watermelon, and we can circle a group of 10. So I'm going to count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Would you mind circling that as a group of 10? Ooh, notice there's a few left over. Let's see if we can circle another group. We'll just start down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I've got a few friends left over.
Yeah, so not only do we have a few friends left over here, but we actually need to count the entire watermelon all together. So, do you think we should keep going, or should we let them figure it out?
I think they should be able to do this.
I'll give them a little hint.
Okay.
You're going to need to make another group of 10 down here somewhere, and another group of 10 down here somewhere. But there's going to be leftover seeds that become your ones.
Yes.
Okay? So I'll be honest, 40 is not your answer because you have leftovers. Okay.
So make sure to count your groups of 10s and your 1s, and you're going to put them down here. 10s and 1s. And there's even a little line at the very bottom for you to write your total down there.
Yep.
I'm going to erase that. So.
Yep. We want that total on there.
Yeah.
All right, last question,
Okay.
then we're going to be done with this long but important video. Here we go. You want to talk about it?
Sure.
You looked excited. So
Yes,
good.
I am. Estimation is exciting. So, estimation, basically just means making your best guess and getting as close as you can to the answer without getting the actual answer. So it says Terry has about 20 keys. About 20 keys. Not exactly 20 keys, about. Which number could be the exact estimate or the exact number of keys that Terry has? So we are looking for a number that's as close to 20 as we can get. And it looks like our options are 9, 21, 35, and 42. So if our estimation is 20, and I'm looking for a number that's as close to 20 as I can get, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to figure out which one is the correct number.
I'll give you a hint. It's not 42.
It's not 42.
It's not that one.
Yeah.
It's actually not going to be like, it's not going to be that
Yeah.
either, so.
No. Good luck.
Pick maybe B or C as your answer,
Yeah.
and then from there, the one that's closest to 20.
Probably get you the right answer.
Yeah, I think you can do it.